Hi everyone, today I'm going to be reading George Brown, Class Clown, Trouble Magnet, Chapter 6. Let's get started. Chapter 6. Remember, I decide if you're in the band, Louis told George when he got to Louis's house. I know, George told him. How could he not know? Louis had been reminding him all day long. He almost felt like saying, "Forgot it, find somebody else to be in your dumb band." But he didn't. That wouldn't be cool. And the whole point of being in a band was to be cool. "Everything is set up in the basement," Louis told George. "Keyboard, drums, and guitar aims too." "You can play all those instruments?" George asked. Louis shook his head. "I just play guitar. My brother Sam plays drum and guitar. My mother plays keyboard just like you." Mike and Max thought that was hilarious. Max laughed so hard he actually snorted. George frowned. He knew why they were laughing. It was never cool to do something that someone's mother did. "Come on, let's get started," Louis said as he began to lead the boys to the basement. He sped down one of the long hallways and the wheels in the sneakers. Louis's house was huge. The dining room was enough to fit their whole class for lunch. No wonder Louis has sneakers with wheels, George thought. He needs wheels to get around the place. As George passed the family room, he saw the walls were covered with photos. Most of Louis and his brother on vacation at the beach and skis at amusement parks. In the living room, George spotted a huge, flat-screen TV. Wow, it would be awesome to have one of those. George followed Louis down the narrow stairs off the kitchen to the basement. Sure enough, there were the drums, the aims, and a small black keyboard. There were also glass shelves with about 1,000,000 trophies and ribbons on them. "Are these yours?" George asked. Louis shook his head. Most of them are my brother's, Sam's. Most of those are my brother Sam's. Sam's a star pitcher for the middle school baseball team, Max told George, and last year he won the county spelling bee, Mike added. "I have trophies too," Louis said. "Like over 3. I got that one for coming in 3rd in a swim race at camp." "Cool," George said. "And this year I'm going to win 1st place in the talent show," Louis said. "You get a trophy for that?" "Well, don't just stand there," he said. "Let's see what you can do." George could feel a nervous feeling starting up in his belly. It wasn't like bouncing burp bubbles or anything. It was more like a bunch of slimy worms crawling all around inside him. But that wasn't going to stop George from playing. He knew he was good. Now he'd show Louis. He wiggled his fingers to loosen them up. Then he started playing one of his favorites from when he was a Slinky and the Worms. "Bang your head, stomp your feet, don't you think the music's neat?" George sang as he played the keyboard. "What song is that?" Louis asked him. "It's called Bang Your Head," George answered. "I've never heard of it," Louis said. "Me neither," Max agreed. "That's because I wrote it," George said. "Well, me and my friends Kevin and Jeremy, the kids in Cherrydale, really liked it." "Well, this is Beaverbrook," Louis said. "How can I tell you if you're playing all the right notes if it's a made-up song?" George shrugged. "I can play something else. How about Don't Stop Believing?" "My brother's band played that in their concert last year," Louis said. George smiled proudly. He knew that Sam was in middle school. George was only in the elementary school, and he already knew the song. He put his fingers on the keyboard and began to play. George didn't miss a note. When the song ended, George waited for someone to say something, but no one did. At least not at first. Then finally, Louis frowned. "I guess that was okay, and besides, we need a keyboard in the band. You're in." "Awesome," George said, and he really meant it. "Are you hungry?" Max asked. George looked over at the table in the corner where Max was making sandwiches. He watched Max smear some grape jelly and peanut butter on 2 slices of bread. He wiped some snot from his nose with his hand and slapped the slices of bread together. "Here," Max said. No thanks," George told him. "I'm not really hungry. Any more?" "Okay, so now we have to come up with a name for the band," Louis said. "What do you guys think of Louis and the Lice?" George made a face. "I don't want it called Loose." "Well, I like it," Louis said, "and unless you can come up with something better, that's the name." "Snort." George listened as Max sucked some snot back up his nose. Then he watched as he wiped his nose with the back of his hand. "What about the runny noses?" George said quietly. "What did you say?" Louis asked him. "The runny noses?" George repeated. "We could be the runny noses. That That's pretty good, Mike said. Then he looked quickly over at Louie. I'm not sure. Do you like it, Louie? It's actually not bad, Louie told him. Where'd you get that idea? Max asked. George. Achoo! George laughed. I guess it was something I heard somewhere. Well, pretty soon everyone is going to hear about us, Louie said. The Runny Noses are going to be the biggest band in Edith B. Sermon Elementary history. What do you mean you don't know how to play? Don't drop that rock, Louie shouted at George during the band rehearsal a few days later. It's the first song you learn on guitar. But I don't play guitar, George told Louie. I play piano. Do you know I'm not lazy? I'm just crazy. Never heard of it, Louie said. Me neither, Mike said. He bushed his cymbals and then hit one of his drums. I want to play something with a fast beat. Anyone want a salami sandwich? Max asked. No, Mike, Louie, and George all shouted at once. It was the first thing the three of them had agreed on all afternoon. This is why my old band wrote our songs, George told Louie and Mike. That way we all learned the song together. Will you stop talking about your old band? Louie shouted. Then he stopped for a minute. I know, he said. Why don't we write our own song? Something no one has ever heard before. Then they won't know if we're playing right or wrong. George was about to say that he just suggested that, but he knew Louie well enough not to be bothered. An hour later, the Runny Noses had written their first song. Well, at least part of it anyway. Let's take it from the top, Louie told George and Mike. Then maybe we can figure out what's not working. George put his fingers on the keyboard. Mike clicked his sticks together. 5, 6, 7, 8, Mike said. What are you doing, Louie demanded. What are you doing? Louie demanded. He's counting us down, George told him. The drummer always counts to 8 before the song starts. That's the way we all start playing at the same time. It's really important to count. Then I should do it, Louie said. After all, I'm the leader of this band. George shrugged. He didn't really care who counted, just as long as they could play already. 5, 6, 7, 8, Louie counted. Then the band started to play. We're the Runny Noses and we're running after you, Louie sang. The guys didn't get too far into the song before Louie's big brother Sam came downstairs to see what was going on. Yo, dude, is this your band? Sam asked Louie. Yeah, Louie said. He sounds like more quiet than usual. I've never heard that song before, Sam said. Yeah, well, we wrote it, Louie mumbled. He slumped a little bit. I know it's not great, but No, it's actually pretty good, Sam told him. Louie stood a little taller. I wrote most of it, he bastard. George knew that it wasn't true, but he didn't say anything. But the opening chords needed some work, Sam said. That's just what I was thinking, Louie agreed. Mind if I take a crack at it? Sam asked. Maybe I can help you guys out. Louie shrugged and slipped out of his guitar strap. Sure, if you want, he said, handing Sam the guitar. Cool, Sam said. He swung the guitar strap over his shoulder and looked at Mike. Count us down, would you, Mike? Okay, Mike said. He clicked his sticks. 5, 6, 7, 8. Sam began to play. He was really good. Louie was good too, but not like his brother Sam. Sam knew exactly what chords gave the song a really strong opening riff. Louie sat on the couch watching as Sam led the Runny Noses through the beginning of a new song. There was a funny expression on his face. Having a brother who was amazing at everything had to be tough when you were just a normal kid. Not that anyone would ever accuse Louie of being normal. Thanks everyone for watching. Subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss Chapter 7. Like, comment, have a great day. Bye.